ready. Hello everyone, welcome back to my studio and a new sewing tutorial. It has been some time, but of course I uploaded other videos, just different kinds of videos. I'm just trying to have a good variety of segments here on the channel so you're more entertained. What are we gonna do today? I'm gonna show you how you make this really cute scrunchies. They're very easy, very beginner friendly, and also they're very quick. So if you're not that comfortable with sewing yet, this is a good video for you to watch and follow along. I've prepared two different sizes, a bigger one, which I'm currently wearing, and then a smaller one, which is more suitable for kids maybe, or sometimes if you have, if you don't want that much volume, the smaller size is definitely then a bit better. The process of sewing is identical, it's really just the size that is different of these two. The biggest scrunchie is 64 centimeters by 12 centimeters, and you need an elastic, which is gonna be 20 centimeters. And the smaller one is 50 centimeter by 8 centimeter, and you need an elastic with 18 centimeter. I'm also gonna write down on the screen what exact measurements you need when it comes to centimeters or inch. You don't really need much fabric, so if you've got some scrap fabric that you think could look really nice for the scrunchies, I would definitely recommend using them. I've got some fabric left from another sewing tutorial I did here on this channel, which I'm gonna link down in the description box.
Sewing the scrunchie is very easy as mentioned. So you take your fabric panel and the shorter sides need to be put on top of each other. Then go to your sewing machine and stitch these two sides together. Don't forget to lock stitch at the beginning and at the end of your seam. After you've done with that seam, take your seam allowance and spread it apart so it lays flat. Turn it around so your seam is facing the desk, and the first layer that is right on top of it should be folded really thinly. This is called the burrito method. You then take the fabric layer that is underneath, you then try to match the seam so they are on top of each other. I simply take a pin to fixate it once again. I then go back to my sewing machine, make sure that I only sew together the outer layer of fabric. With a seam allowance of 1 centimeter, I stitch down the whole length of the scrunchie. Once you reach the end of your piece, don't forget to pull the inside out so you really have a full circle sewn of the scrunchie. It can take some time and a bit of patience, but I'm sure you can do it. Once again, pull, 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 and then continue sewing. Once you see the lock stitch where you began your seam, don't forget to lock stitch once again, and you need to leave a gap open of 2 centimeters. You can see it right here, I left a gap of the 2 centimeters, which we will need later on. I then stick my fingers into this little gap and pull the inside of the scrunchie out. This should leave you with another fabric circle. And then let's go on to the next step. You take your elastic and a safety pin, pick one of the sides of the elastic and put your safety pin through it. I then search for the gap we left open on my scrunchie and then put the safety pin with the elastic on it through the tunnel. Don't forget to hold on to the end of your elastic. We need this piece later on to put the two endings together. This needs a bit of patience, but once again, I'm sure you can do it, and it's actually quite a lot of fun, because you can see how your scrunchie is gonna look like. Once I'm through, I'm pulling the safety pin out, then remove it, then put the two endings of the elastic on top of each other, and with a seam allowance of 1 centimeter, I stitch back and forth throughout the elastic so it's nice and secure. Of course, we are still now left with the 2 centimeter gap we had to use in the beginning. Now it's time to close it. I simply try to match up the 2 layers of fabric, of course with the seam allowance inside of it. And then with an edge stitch, I stitch down both sides on top of each other. Once again, don't forget your lock stitch.
The scrunchies are now technically done and usable. I just always kind of pull them around a bit just right after I've sewn them to distribute the fabric equally and make it look a bit more symmetrical. Once we're done with sewing, we can basically put cute things and maybe some not so cute things onto the scrunchie. This is the black scrunchie I was just wearing, and now we're gonna put some cute stuff onto the lighter one. So I've got a couple of things that I've just gathered throughout the years and they're just kind of like lying around in my studio, and I'm gonna put them onto my scrunchie, but of course you can add to your scrunchie whatever you want. I just find this to be the easiest, really. So the best way onto getting everything onto the scrunchie is by using some segment rings. A bigger one, of course, because we need to get it around the scrunchie. If you want to punch a whole thread and put an eye through the fabric, of course, that is absolutely doable. I just think most people just don't have the machines for it, so I'm gonna show you the easiest way.
Yes, you are seeing that right. I bend it with my bare hands like a caveman because I'm barbaric, and the cold truth is I never owned jewelry making tools. So I've got to work with what's there, you know? But honestly, if you ask me, take some proper jewelry pliers for this.
So when I said that I've been collecting these charms for years, I really meant it. When I was like 12 years old, I had the most ridiculous taste and bought some charms that I would never use, and especially now I will definitely not use them because they're just so ridiculous. So I thought, wouldn't it look really cute if I had some tiny knives? And of course, to accompany the tiny knives, we need some tiny spoons, right? And of course, if we've got knives and spoons, then we need to get forks as well. Just look at them. I don't know what I was thinking, but I've been keeping them for 15 years now. I think I can keep them for a bit longer. Maybe the day will come where I actually think they're suitable for a project, but to be realistic, I don't think so ever. I've got my scrunchies ready. They are something else. I really like working on these small things, and I hope that you really enjoyed following along this tutorial and have some cute scrunchies now as well. If you've made a scrunchie, make sure to send me a photo on Instagram. I'm really interested to see what kind of scrunchie you make. Thank you so much for watching, hun. I hope you really enjoyed this and had some fun, and I will see you in my next video.